Welcome to my 3-week discussion posting. I'm Jackie Vincent. Today, I'd like to talk about something that has plagued our society since the dawn of time: violence. Violence is as old as the dawn of man. It is the very essence of many biblical stories. From biblical times to our modern times, man still struggles with violence, hatred towards others, and other elements that trigger deep-seated emotions. In our modern world, social media brings us to a new platform to explore concepts of violence. In particular, we can look at using words to start Twitter wars between individuals online, often sparking violent rants online. We hear horror stories of people being bullied literally to death online. What makes our society so violent and crave violent images? Is it that we as a society have lost our sensitive side? As a child growing up in the 80s, television shows were wholesome as pure. I just watched the remake of an old television favorite, Gem, and back then you never had violence on television aside from what was going on in the nightly news. Now, violence is everywhere, and as a society, I believe we have totally become immune to its potential dangers. If you had a class with me before, you know that I am interested in helping my community. As an educator living and working in the heart of the inner city, I am fascinated with how my students react to different things that happen in our community. I live in a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood, so I chose to look at the article by Raul Ramos, Christopher Ferguson, and Kelly Frayling titled Violent Entertainment and Cooperative Behavior, examining media violence effects on cooperation in a primarily Hispanic sample. The article is very interesting because in its 14 pages you get a sense of urgency that there may potentially be a problem with media violence, but the authors never get to the bottom of the problem or use specific language to trigger your thought processes. They use words like inconsistent and behavior outcomes to speak about the film. There have been studies that have been done lately concerning violence and the media and its effects on impressionable minds. In fact, they leave you hanging waiting for the next piece of research to come out or for you to make up your own mind on this matter based on your own personal interpretation. They state, more research is needed to uncover the effects of witnessing real versus fictional violence on behavior. A host of ethical issues arise here, but on solution is offered by Ramos, who exposed participants to both fictional and real on-screen violence, with a disclaimer before the latter. Further study, and this should help researchers determine the effects. The authors never come out and state their true feelings on this piece. They offer a hand, if you will, an extension for you to do your own research. This is in complete contrast with Andrew Weaver's article, who states something I'm a bit more inclined to agree with. A primary argument for the widespread production of media violence is that audiences want to watch violent content. This is very true because violence and sex sell. They are what bring the ratings in. This is a sad state of affairs, and it's indicative of our world today. We are a society obsessed with sex and violence. A good moral upbringing should sway one away from excessively violent entertainment and social media platforms. There has to be an innate desire within an individual to commit violent acts. It is not something learned from television. This argument is fallacious in my mind. What are your thoughts?